So, what's the big deal on copper these days? Is it really the holy grail of all minerals? Well, I'm not sure about that, but however, this is a big deal, and it surely changes everything. I believe good health goes way beyond the physical. Actually, I believe it comes as a package, body, mind, and soul. It's one big, complex quantum package, you might say. What really matters here is at the end of every day, health is all about the quality of creativity that we bring to the table.
And that's kind of what I do with my doctor members. I teach them that, I do all these Patreon blogs all the time. I'm trying to get people motivated that what you've been told is horseshit. Upgrade your game.
Most of us on this planet are happy sharing knowledge because it's our nature. However, our society, not so much. It's quite stuck in privatizing and monetizing knowledge. It certainly doesn't come free.
Here's how Dr. Jack Kruse puts it.
Actually, one of my good friends is a gastroenterologist, told me instead of trying to write the papers up, that Big Pharma is going to block it because it was about leptin trials and the leptin drug and Amgen. And he said, why don't you just put it on the internet? Correct. And I think doctors have a time and place. Like if you break your arm, you break your leg, get a subdural, like a trauma in a car wreck, that's where centralized medicine is wonderful. I don't want anybody to think that I'm totally dumping on them. There's things that we do well. But what we suck at, chronic disease management. We have no earthly idea how to deal with diabetes because we don't understand it, okay? And there's so many other diseases like that. In fact, most of the diseases that Americans have now are chronic Neolithic diseases caused by different things in our environment. I told you there's a list of about 13.
And in part, this is why we have our healthcare failing us today. You don't know what you don't know until you do. In this video, I've chosen a half a dozen professionals who have paid the price and are returning it without any attachments. Good health should never be a financial burden. Not now, not ever. You know what they say, a little knowledge is dangerous? Well, let me show you why.
And there's no better way of discovery than to hear it first from someone that has already figured it out, at least in part. It makes it so much easier standing on their shoulders looking forward than standing all by yourself, further stimulating your own creativity or clarity of mind.
I was very surprised to discover that kingpin in nutritional biology is simply missing. That's right, ignored, overlooked. Some people would say hidden in plain sight. The subject has certainly grabbed a lot of professional attention in the last few years. Sadly proves our health institutions are simply failing us.
LDL, HDL, good cholesterol, bad. How big is your cholesterol? Is it sand? Is it cotton balls? We got so distracted for 65 years. Only to find out, what causes heart disease? Iron. And it oxidizes cholesterol. So I kept digging, and this study by Dr. Hsu and Dr. Mayo, hepcidin as a key iron regulator mediates glucotoxicity. Ooh, that means sugar's bad. Decreased hepcidin expression, increased iron absorption by upregulating the receptor for iron in the body. Folks, that's not good, especially in a body that doesn't have copper. And we've been, the meme that runs the planet is you're anemic and you're copper toxic. And the truth is just the opposite. You have a whisper of copper in your body and you're drowning in iron inside the cell, and it's not showing up in the blood work because it's stuck in the cell.
The missing kingpin I'm referring to is sunlight. Yeah, simple sunlight. It all starts with light, both in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom.
Light is the biggest part of the story because we're creating light and we absorb light and we have all these proteins in us that are chromophore proteins. I said, God or evolution wouldn't have done this if it wasn't important. I started finding UVA detectors on our cornea and our skin. I never learned that in medical school. When I saw that, I'm like, there's a story here. that hasn't been told. Okay, so stop for a minute. What's the terminal electron acceptor in mitochondria? Oxygen. So if you live in a place that basically is a desert, okay, and you have bad air and bad water, do you understand why you got a problem? See, everybody thinks California is great, but is it really great?
Yeah.
So all I'm asking people to do is take an honest assessment of their environment before they blame it on their genes, before they blame it on something else. And you will find that most things, the defect is in the environment, the defect isn't in you. See, people don't realize it. Let me give you the good proxy disease that I think most of your listeners will understand. Most people know about Parkinson's disease. What most people don't know is in the brainstem, there's a place called the substantia nigra. It's called substantia nigra because nigra means dark. Why is it dark? Neuromelanin is there. You get Parkinson's disease when you lose melanin in that spot. Then you start to get the shakes, you don't think as well, you become expressionless. You know, there's different symptoms that go with it tied to the amount of melanin loss. Do you know what melanin effectively does? It turns sunlight into a DC electric current in the brain. Do you know what the best treatment for Parkinson's disease right now at UCLA is? To drill a hole in your head, put an electrode in the substantia nigra to deliver electricity to it.
When you could just go outside into the light?
Thank you. So,
Ceruloplasmin. Well, that's a difficult one to roll off your tongue. A copper-based enzyme plays a executive role. It regulates at least a dozen different critical body functions, such as regulating iron, regulating cholesterol, creating ATP. Ceruloplasmin is coined the mother of all antioxidants for good reason. It's the number 2 player in the game, and yet most health practitioners have never heard of it. Very strange indeed.
Well, the whole premise of Big Pharma is one gene, one protein, one function. Ceruloplasmin is one gene. It is one protein. It has 9 enzyme functions. There's 15 known substrates that ceruloplasmin can change. It's well documented in literature, but it's not taught in practitioner school. And so it's a real threat to the one gene, one protein, one function model.
I know that you were a hospital administrator for, I think, 32 years, and you have an MBA. That's quite a leap to go from that to what you're doing now.
2 to 3 hours a day for 15 years, 7 days a week. You start reading scientific literature. You learn a lot. I specialize, obviously, as you noted, in minerals. And the very origin of the RCP was my reading a very important article by Ray Peat on the dangers of iron. And towards the end of the article, he said, to my knowledge, no one has ever come up with a recipe to increase ceruloplasmin. I said, that's what I'm going to do. That's what the book is all about. What we're trying to do in the protocol is ground the understanding about how important bioavailable copper is, especially this master antioxidant protein, ceruloplasmin, that has, it's 1,046 amino acids. It's one of the biggest proteins in the human body. It's a tank, it has 8 soldiers inside.
Any path of discovery often has its pivotal moments of great advancement. Just as quantum mechanics advanced our knowledge of astrophysics, so is true with quantum biology. I call it alchemy, a quantum reality of biochemistry that connects all the cells in a living life form by the mitochondria through the process of photosynthesis. So prepare yourself. Let's break the ice.
We rectify all the currents, a la Robert Becker, because the currents are doped. So we have small little atoms in there that actually change the different frequencies. That's exactly what the guys in Silicon Valley do with AMD or Intel, they all have doped silicon semiconductors. We have doped carbon-based semiconductors. So that's how we create different light frequencies. And the dopant that's present in bone that Becker found is copper. We have 2 copper atoms that are between collagen and apatite, and that allows us to have the semiconductive current. So this is now 6 years after this, after I figured out that everything that I learned in medical school is not true. It's really based on, quantum mechanics. The physics of organisms are the key. Circadian biology is the key. Like, we are decentralized, meaning that there's no central controller. That's not what they teach you in medical school. It's not what they teach you in residency. So I decided to do a TED Talk about that very issue. And the TED Talk got canceled. It was...
How does a TED Talk get canceled? To get shut down on YouTube or whatever?
Well, it was Big Pharma shut it down.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why has a lot to do, what was in the book. And, current events now. You know about Ozempic, you know about the GLP-1 drugs.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know is that this was all preconditioned by the FDA and Big Pharma. In 1974, we had saccharin. 1977, you have high fructose corn syrup. All of those are GLP agonists, just so you know that. So they have known about this, and the FDA, when the last little bit was in, I believe in 89, they approved sucralose, which is, Splenda.
Right.
And Splenda was only supposed to be in certain foods and drinks, and then they expanded it to pretty much anything that's, a processed food.
We've grown up in this world that is very agnostic to minerals. They didn't tell us what the mechanisms of action were. They didn't tell us that you can't make vitamin D, storage D, without magnesium. They didn't tell us that osteoporosis isn't that caused by an iron buildup in the bone because it's not recycling right and it's causing calcium loss. They forgot to tell us that the that the acid phosphatase enzyme to create osteoporosis is triggered by iron, that the alkaline phosphatase enzyme to rebuild the matrix is triggered by magnesium. Well, what happens to magnesium in the presence of iron? It's out the door. And so we don't know these base interactions.
The 30,000-foot view here is sunlight, magnetism, structured water, copper, magnesium, and rentanol are the pins in the first 3 rows of defense in the game. Oxidative stress, aka the wrecking ball, is the environmental chaos we need to recognize.
Ansel Keys, famous physiologist, took cholesterol out of our diet. You remember the Time magazine commercial with the bacon, the frowny bacon and the eggs, right? They took cholesterol out, but what they were really taking out of our diet was vitamin A, retinol. Nobody knew that there's this incredible relationship between copper and vitamin A. In the same way that there's an incredible relationship between vitamin D and iron. You don't want to take vitamin D supplements. It's going to get your iron all worked up. It's going to get it stored even deeper. You don't want stored iron. Trust me, you want circulating iron. So, copper is all about electric. Iron is all about magnetic. Electromagnetism. We got to have both inside the body. Very important to have both.
Because basically, my science, decentralized science, the quantum biology, comes down to 3 things. We talked about it in the beginning. Light, water, magnetism. So if you distill what I do, you have to optimize those 3 arms. If you optimize those 3 arms, you can stay away from centralized medicine. You can stay away from big pharma.
Alrighty, copper is an essential mineral, and what that basically means is your body can't produce it. You have to get copper from the diet. Now, we're looking at some of the functions of copper in the body. If we break these down kind of very simplistically put here, copper aids iron absorption. Copper is an antioxidant. It plays a role in a system called SOD, superoxide dismutase. Copper plays a role biochemically in how your blood clots. So very, very important in that component. Blood pressure as well. Low copper has been linked to blood pressure problems. and then the formation of the myelin sheath. This is a big one here, especially with the quantity or the increase in the rise of the disease multiple sclerosis. The myelin sheath, the coating around your nerves, requires copper to be able to be formed.
And it only takes a little bit of copper to regulate a lot of iron. There's 100 milligrams of copper in our body. That's a tiny amount. That 100 milligrams fits on the head of a 1-inch stick pin. And then we've got thousands of milligrams of iron in our body. All the enemies in the body feed on iron. All of the ancient healing paradigms are based on one concept: strengthen the host. What's the fastest way to strengthen the host? Do a blood donation, get rid of some iron, and start focusing on copper. And so it's just, we're not aware of the amazing research that's being done on the planet just around these two metals and how interdependent they are. And we again, we're back to, we have monocrop farms and we have mononutrient focus. Just get some more iron. Just get some more calcium. Just get some more vitamin D and it'll be fine. And no one's stepping back to say, wait a minute, aren't these guys working in pairs? Aren't they working in relationship? And that's what I think we're missing context and perspective in modern nutrition. I think that's really the biggest gap that's holding us back. They took fat, copper, and retinol out of our diet. We didn't see it coming. Over the course of a century, that's exactly what's happened. And what did they increase? Sugar, vitamin D, and iron. They've been adding iron filings, not organic iron, iron filings, to our wheat flour since 1941. Increased it 50% in '69. There's only 9 different forms of iron being added to the food, only 9. How many of them cause cancer? All 9. For 80 years, copper has been deficient on the farm. And the fastest way to take copper out of the soil is to use Roundup. mTOR snuffs out AMPK. It's a big deal. It likes to stop AMPK. Iron activates it. Copper stops it. So why don't we know about copper? There's no money in healthy humans, right?
Near infrared light and red light can actually build new neurons in the eyes and help vision.
Yep.
Like repair vision.
Did you talk to Chantal?
No, not about this.
Chantal's dad was up in my clinic in Louisiana blowing pine needles out of the gutter. And this guy, just so you know, now he's 83, but at the time this happened, he was 80. He's a Marine, falls off the roof, lands on the ground. He breaks his leg. The reason he breaks his leg, he's got a knee replacement. So if you know anything about a knee replacement, it looks like a metal plate with a keel in it. The keel, when he hits, splits the tibia in half.
Ugh.
So, of course, I sent him to the hospital. So he goes to the hospital, and the orthopedic surgeon tells him, look, because your leg is broken and you have a knee replacement, we're going to have to let the bone heal, and then we're going to have to redo your knee. So he's looking at major problems. He calls me up 2 weeks after the injury, and he's in a cast, and he's like, Jack, you got to do something to help me. I have so much pain, and I can't shit. I'm taking the Percocet. I said, Dave, take the keys to my clinic, go sit in front of the red light that I have for the NFL football players for the concussion.
Right.
But remember, he's a jarhead. I said, listen to what I'm telling you. Sit in front of the light, put it on 20 minutes, do it 4 times a day. You know, I'm not there. You can use it. No problems. So what happens?
That's another thing I wanted to ask you.
What happens? He goes back to the orthopedic surgeon. This was the funny part. I get a picture from Chantal of her dad on my 0-turn lawnmower cutting my grass 2 weeks after this happens. He's like, my leg doesn't hurt anymore. And he goes back to the orthopedic surgeon. The orthopedic surgeon takes an x-ray, can't find the fracture.
Oh my God.
The fracture is healed. And here's the best part. He's walking around in the orthopedic surgeon's office. He's like, Dave, you don't even have a limp. He goes, I don't think we're going to have to do your knee replacement either. So Dave's great. 6 weeks later, he gets an appointment to go to the ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
They look in his eyes. He's still doing the red light, even though, because he says it makes him feel great.
But he's not wearing the glasses.
No, he doesn't have AMD anymore. It's gone. This is a guy that for 5 years was getting the injections into his eyeball with his doctor. And the doctor looks in his eye, but he looks at him, he goes, there's no evidence that you have macular degeneration anymore. They even do a eye test on him. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, I didn't know that this was possible. So what do? I go back and read the literature. Sure as shit, there's papers out there about this issue. Most of them in Japan. Guess who's burying them? Big Pharma. Wow.
See, my friend.
If you made it this far, then you probably understand the warning label on the title page. Okay. Never in my lifetime have I witnessed the kind of exponential growth that I've seen in science and technology in the recent years. I think we're going to see a new face of quantum integrated science in all of the disciplines, especially in the medical industry. So we have that to look forward to.